Hey loves, how's it going? Hope all is well. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to talk about this comment that I received on one of my videos regarding Tiffany Haddish. So the comment stated, "Woo child, black women are the most critical of one another and it's truly disgusting. Any mention of Tiffany either not being funny or she's a stereotype, etc. is so disrespectful. She is out here trying to make a living just like everybody else. You don't ever see white people giving their opinion on a lot of their stars, and that's very telling. I'm pretty sure whomever is so critical of Tiffany has done things black before. Y'all sit here and talk about her being a stereotype and how she's an embarrassment, but in all honesty, look at yourself. Don't be so quick to judge on the internet, because out there for the world to see, the very people you say should act right in front are the same people still supporting her. Sometimes black people can be their own worst enemy." Now, one thing I dislike what people do is the whole black and white thing. If you know anything about the history of media, white people have owned media. They own everything around the media, and this is their freaking world. We have no power in order to cancel anything. We don't have any power in order to take things away from people because we are still the minority, still the oppressed. So I'm not going to do a full video regarding the history of media and how far back it goes, but I do want to mention celebrity journalism, I want to mention gossip, and I want to mention tabloids, because the start of all this were for white audiences. The main reason why we have black bloggers today is because we were not represented in media. So fan magazines were originally created for movie stars. They were used to basically promote upcoming films and promote movies. Now, the shift changed back 100 years ago when people wanted to know more about the celebrity that were in the film and not necessarily the film. So they started to make headlines. Are they married? How does she keep her skin so lovely? Best dressed and worst dressed, drama on the set, their darkest secrets, and so on and so forth. In the 1950s, these gossip magazines, sometimes referred to as tabloid magazines, they just started to get so scandalous that it was all about celebrities' personal lives. And they wanted to find out what in the world is really going on. So you had white publications called The Confidential, The Whisper, Dare, Suppress, The Lowdown, The Hush Hush, and The Uncensored. And in all these magazines, you can see them talking about celebrities, whether they were homosexual or they participated in illegal drug use. Now, large circulations of gossip magazines hit waves, and the first one that a lot of people talk about is the National Enquirer. That is a huge scandal-oriented celebrity coverage magazine. People and Us were considered smaller back then in the 50s, and the whole history of the gossip magazines were about basically exploiting the celebrity and selling magazines in order to make profit. So then once the internet came about, you had TMZ.com, you had people like Perez Hilton. They started to break stories with their domain names just as quick as gossip magazines and tabloids. So the reason why we have Ebony magazine, the reason why we have Upscale, Sister to Sister, Essence, Jet magazine, King magazine, Black Business Enterprise, the reason why we have these magazines is because we had no representation, and it all started because we wanted to give the black audiences something to read about. And culturally, the magazines really were based off of great things. The magazines really promoted black women, black men, and black families. They displayed fashion, lifestyle, and beauties. They had intimate details, girl talk. It was really empowering. Now, it's a big difference between black publications as far as magazines and black blogging. Black blogging came about for the same reasons. They wanted to have more say-so, and they wanted to give their opinions about their favorite black celebrities. And I'm not saying by any means that some of these blogs that came out, they don't promote false stories. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying, initially they were first started in order to have a presence in the Black community and to showcase Black stars. For instance, Media Takeout.
Mm-hmm. So we started off, we were kind of a small blog doing entertainment gossip. Mm-hmm. And so now that the world has changed a little bit and I've grown up a little bit, as you can see, I'm wearing a suit now.
Yeah, I see the suit.
We decided to kind of move a little bit more towards entertainment news and just general news that is of interest to Black people. Mm-hmm. So while we still Media Takeout, we're now MTO News as well. Mm-hmm. And we do, in addition to celebrity news and celebrity gossip, we do news that I think, viral news that I think a lot of Black people are interested in.
Even when World Star Hip Hop was created, he wanted to have a platform to showcase Black people's music and their videos. He looked at YouTube as a template in order to create some wealth for himself and his family.
You know, seeing the space with YouTube, you know what I mean, the success of YouTube back then when they got signed with Google, and I noticed that everything's going to be going towards videos, you know what I'm saying, because I was one of the first cats to do a mixtape sites in 01, and then I was like, yo, this, you know, it's too saturated right now. Let me go ahead and think of the next curve. I'm saying I think it's great that we as leaders of the entertainment space to, you know, get these people's voices heard.
Believe it or not, the Shade Room is responsible for a lot of people's careers. She wanted to use Instagram famous people and Instagram celebrities, use them in order to gain attraction to her site, and it helped her and it helped them in the long run.
I started to write on like people who weren't traditionally famous, like people who were Instagram famous, I'll say, like King Amaya at the time, and she was a transgender model. You know, she had a boyfriend scandal or whatever. So I started with them. They would come to the Shade Room and comment and give their tea, but they had a whole fan base. So they would look through the hashtags looking for her and be like, oh, this is the Jew.
Now, media in general just have turned for the worse. It is not the same as it used to be. It is very negative now, and a lot of people don't like to buy into it, and a lot of people don't like to feed into it. And it's starting to get to a certain point where some of the stories are so outlandish and they're so exaggerated that people don't want to report on it. And believe it or not, some celebrities, publicists, the whole purpose of PR is to make sure they stay relevant and they stay in the media. And sometimes you have instances where people plant their own stories. They leak their own things. They accidentally expose themselves and blame it on blogs. And some record labels even pay blogs to make sure that their artists stay relevant. Some celebrities play blogs to make sure that they stay positive in the media. Also, the people in these celebrity circles, they send their stories for monetary reasons to outlets as well. I remember watching Funky Dineva explain why he decided to leave his vlogs for that same reason.
It starts like this. When I got in the game about 8 years ago or so, it is of my personal opinion that the blog game was just an offshoot of entertainment reporting. It was an extension of Entertainment Tonight or Access Hollywood with less guidelines as it related to fact checking. Blogging then, in my opinion, looked more like Kim Kardashian out to dinner with Kanye West at Mr. Child. Guess who's the new housewife of Atlanta? Amber Rose, rumored to be pregnant. Is she not? After I got in the game, the landscape and the culture changed. After a few years in, it started shifting towards who can expose somebody the fastest.
Now, as far as content and what I bring to my channel with my Leah Talks, I prefer not to talk about divorce. I prefer really not to talk about relationships. I really like to talk about Black women and promoting Black women, and also calling out Black women and the Black community on things that don't make sense to me. And I personally don't see a problem with that. I do feel like my opinion It's just an opinion, and I feel like everyone has them. But when I do my videos, I have not ever degraded someone, talked bad at them, called them out their name, or tried to expose them for their personal lifestyle or choices. I don't do that whatsoever. And that's just me, and that's what I like to bring. The fact that some people believe that it's not good to call out your own community on things that they may do that you feel is wrong is crazy to me. Now let me step out of the hood of YouTube real quick. Let's go to the other side of YouTube. There are several huge bloggers that talk about their counterparts and they call them out on their BS. Just because you don't see it does not mean it does not exist. Please look up Rich Lux, Peter Mon, Karina Kaboom, Sanders Kennedy, John Cookian. Like, these people have been doing this for a long time. This is not just a black thing. It has never been a black thing because we don't even control the media. To be honest, this is everywhere. You could turn on your TV and you could see other white people talk about their counterparts. So I don't understand when some people say black people are tearing each other down, especially when they are trying to either educate or they're trying to give an opinion or constructive criticism. Now, I'm not excusing people that make these false stories, that are negative, that bash people, that are very hateful. I'm not talking about them. But as far as people that try to make good out of situations, I cannot agree with that. Because of my opinion and because of my views, I was able to use my voice and attempt to make a difference. I remember the situation with Shea Moisture and the commercial that they did that was so off. You know, I got a chance to sit down with the CEO and talk to him and tell him how I felt about the commercial and not how I felt is wrong. I use my voice how I feel that I should use my voice. And I feel like everybody is entitled to do that. That's why I appreciate my platform, and that's why I speak out about things. Everybody don't have to agree with me, and I'm very receptive of everyone's opinions. I try to look at everyone's opinions. I even comment on certain people, and I try to like as many people as possible, whether I agree or disagree. So, you know, I just can't take on that narrative that black people are trying to bash other black people when, in my opinion, I feel like we try to elevate, educate, and empower. Now, you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions. Comment down below. I'll talk to you guys later.